Should parents limit screen time? What do you think? In this video, we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of screen time. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And if there is one thing that parents are concerned about, it's screen time. It sure is a big debate. How much screen time is good? How much should we remove screen time for children? There have been countries around the world who have even decided to limit screen time by law in schools. We used to have in the United States of America a pretty understood policy amongst people that during school children would not use screens. Now they're being promoted, but in other countries like Sweden, the Netherlands, Japan, there are people saying, nope, no screens in the schools anymore. We have a problem with children being addicted to screen time. We see that it's hurting their brain, their cognitive function, their ability to self-regulate, and we've got to do something about it. So how much is too much? Let's talk about that. So whose job is it to limit the screen times? Well, a lot of people would like to see the schools limit the screen time, but because the schools are promoting screen time, the burden definitely falls upon the parents. Parents do have the primary burden to limit screen time. I know some parents who tell their children and the schools that their children belong to, just so you know, you may give my child a Chromebook, but when my child comes home, my child will not be on the Chromebook. We will not be using computer time at home if they're going to be on it on the school throughout the day. My child needs to have a regular attachment to life. So there are parents that are getting bold. They are doing stuff like that. And I'm always like, how's that going? What do the teachers say? Well, in some cases, the teachers are supportive. In other cases, the teachers are not supportive. I think by and large, many teachers also do not like the amount of screens that are being pushed from a district level, maybe even from a governmental level on the children, because there's so many new programs, new ideas, and they want to just program it all into the devices, right? They say this is easier. This also makes it so that the teachers don't always even know what's going on in the devices, which is not really safe for the children, but that's a conversation for another day. Anyway, so there's these devices and they're holding all the curriculum, and so the child's turning in their homework on the devices, everything. There are some parents saying, I'm sorry, my child needs to have the opportunity to do a written assignment, to turn it in, or I will be the one typing on the device for the child for the homework or whatever. I mean, they are really getting bold because parents are noticing that their children are addicted to devices. Is the option no devices or be addicted to devices? No, not necessarily. You can teach a child how to regulate themselves. You can teach them how to give themselves no answers to a device, how to accept no answers. You can teach them how to follow instructions related to safety precautions or protocol related to devices. But here's the thing. They're not fully mature yet, so this is a struggle. Because when they are so impulsive when they're young, they have a hard time giving themselves that no answer when they are driven and craving to get on something. So I would say that most people would probably agree that using a device for an academic pursuit during a certain period of time is not totally damaging. Okay, that's something that we can manage. But when the device is also the entertainment, the social, the everything, I got to look it up, hey Google, hey whatever. When that is what they are doing with their devices all the time, then we know that the child is going to get sucked into this virtual world where they detach from reality and they detach from family. So let's talk about some of these pros and cons. I'm bringing up a few cons right now, okay? So the cons are pretty obvious. I know that people talk about them all the time. The cons are detachment from people, detachment from growing up into an adult, because a lot of the world online is not mature. It's a lot of messaging that gears directly toward children and teens because they're trying to actually control children and teens. So our social mindset, our even personal mindset, our ability to regulate can be connected to what we have seen and experienced online, in movies, in games like Minecraft and whatever. Then there's also these gateways that open up to steering people down other holes that might actually be dangerous for them. Of course, there's the trafficking issue. That's huge. The majority of children, especially in the United States, who are trafficked because of their connection on a device. So that's a thing that we have to recognize as well, is that it's the devices that are promoting all of this child trafficking that's happening as well. So there are dangers. There are ideological shifts that can happen that can then pull them away from their family's values and connection with parents. Parents and the parental authority can be completely undermined on technology, even just in Disney movies. It's happening all the time that Hollywood is getting into undermining parental authority. These are major cons. Boy, am I ever going to get to the pros? Okay, I will. I'll get to the pros, but I just want you to know that there are a lot of cons. Before I get to the pros, and we talk about what you can do to help maintain a really healthy relationship with technology for your child. Do you see that subscribe button? The subscribe button is meant to be pushed. When you push it, you see more videos just like this. So click subscribe now. So what are the pros to screens? Well, there are some fun activities that can happen on screens. You can connect with other people on screens. My 20-month-old granddaughter will say to her mom, I want to contact Nini, because that's what she calls me. She won't say contact. Call Nini. Call Nini. She wants to call Nini and she wants to see Nini on the phone because we can see each other virtually. It's so great. That's a pro, isn't it? You can be in connection with people that are far away. That's a neat thing. I love talking to my granddaughter, but I'm also very aware that she is at an age that is so impressionable. She could get addicted to those screens and seeing the screens. Hearing the music on the screens. She loves music. Her mother loves music too and always has some music playing on her phone or something. Guess what? My granddaughter right now is starting to develop a little bit too much of an attachment to music going on, and that's because her mom loves to have music going on. The mom's probably not even fully seeing this. Actually, I think she is, because she told me recently that she's like, I think I need to have more time where it's just quiet at the house. And I'm like, yeah, you probably do, because she's asking for music a lot. So anyway, there are pros to things. We can learn new songs. We can see educational things. We can do some of our coursework. We can learn to type. We can talk to loved ones. There's a lot of pros to technology. Even for family movie night, there's a great thing. We can watch something on the screen, we can discuss it, and we can learn a lesson from it. So there's a lot of great learning that can happen. We've just got to be very careful that we don't throw our lives out of balance. Also, children should really learn how to connect person to person before they get consumed with screens. And I think our society is really doing a bad job at waiting to bring in the screens because it's just so convenient to do things with the screens. So what can we do to make sure that our children are not taken over by the screen culture and that we get those negative effects or those cons, but instead we get a little bit more pros? Well, one of the biggest things that you can do is be deliberate. Don't work around the device. You own the device, it doesn't own you. Always remember that. You bought the thing, you own it, so you shut it off whenever you need it to be shut off. Be deliberate. How many hours in a week? How much time does a child need to have? And what will be detrimental to them? So when I was a young mom and I was raising my children in this new emerging screen age, I looked at my children and I thought, you know what? They don't behave right if they have screens early in the day. So they're never having screens early in the day. They might be able to have screens in the afternoon. It might be a half hour and it might be an educational game. Maybe if they've exhausted everything else first. And as a family, we will only watch the TV, which is usually a video, a movie of some sort. We're only going to watch that once a week. It's going to be on Friday nights. We might watch 1 or 2 videos and that's it. And other than that, we didn't use the screens. Now, I know it's even harder now because even more things are on screens now than were then. But you just be deliberate. You don't have to have my same plan if you don't want to. Pick one that works for you and your family, but be deliberate and shut it off when you need to. The other thing is put all the screens in your room to charge. Don't have them in the rooms with the children. That's going to lead to a lot of dysregulation when it comes to screen time. Don't put it in their pockets all the time. When they come home, have them be home. take it out of the pockets, charge it somewhere else, do things that are real. And that means that you're going to need to have fun family activities together as a group, which is a really great thing to get in the habit of doing as well. So schedule family activities, plan for what type of family relationship that you want to have, deliberately plan when the no answers are for screens and when the instructions are for screens. Teach your children that screens are tools, not toys, and what you can do about that. Now, I've got to tell you something. I have a whole training about screens. It was actually done just a couple of years ago. It's a 7-hour full day training that I did for parents who want self-government in their homes. And this training was called Parenting in a Tech Sexual World. If you look up Parenting in a Tech Sexual World, Nicholeen Peck, you'll find it. But if you also just go to teachingselfgovernment.com, my website, and you go to the shop and just find Parenting in a Tech Sexual World, you will see it there. It will be a very comprehensive training, skill sets and everything that you can use to teach your children to be able to accept no answers and to control themselves in this technological age, this screen age that we live in. And you know what? It's going to help you too. So go to teachingselfgovernment.com today. I'll see you there.